don't give a fuck. Got a heater in my truck and I'm off to the rodeo. It's elemental left and elemental right. Come on, you fucking dummy, get your right step right. Get off stage, you goddamn goof, you know. Piss me off, fucking jerk. Get on my nerves.
Greetings everybody, welcome to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Dire Maul, and as you guys will see, I got some upgrades. I'm a level 58 now, and some of the big things here are Stockade's Paladins, and what you will see is also the Skull Flame Shield, as well as Uther's Strength. We're going to be farming the Lashers and Dire Maul, the traditional farm, and if you guys will remember, the Griddle of Appraisal, the belt, it is back. Essentially, in my opinion, these items are essential to be able to farm Dire Maul East. Now, to go over the talents, once again, going into Holy for Consecration, and Protection, as always, for Blessing of Sanctuary, more than anything else. What you will see is that I did not spec into the Holy Shield. My explanation for that, as always, is simply not worth the mana for the 4 ticks of DPS. And Retribution, of course, in case there is a oh shoot moment, in case I need to down one single elite ad that I'm unable to tackle. So what I'm planning to do here is to take you guys through my run and actually how I farm Dire Maul East. This is the route that I take, and essentially it's a standard Paladin route. Has been in the classic for generations of farmers and the many that came before me. So the first pack is always you have to pull following the bubble when you drop down, and so here just my standard rotation is using Consecration. And you have to keep up both seals, Seal of Light and Seal of Wisdom. You judge one while using the other. And then likewise, you're going to be judging the other and vice versa. So that 2 seals are up simultaneously, and so that you actually have the benefit of both of them gaining health and mana back while you're fighting Lashers. So the biggest thing about this run is watching out for patrols of the tree barks walking around. And so this stone right here is actually the main marker that I use in my first pull. And right before I pull these Lashers, some extra loot that you can get, including the Run Tubber Tubers and Thorium Seeds, can be looted out of the Warwood Pod. That was the green item that I looted right before coming to pull the essentially the Lashers. And so that is just a nice way of getting some extra income as you're going through this run. But once again, the main source of income is actually coming from the Lashers. Now, as you're clearing the instance, one major thing right here is as you're crossing right across to go to the other side of the Lashers, you have to look for patrols. As you will see with the Warwood Pod, they can spawn actually extra Lashers, as well as a Poisonous Cloud or trap you in one place. If they does trap you, just use Hand of Freedom or Cleanse. That easily mitigates your entrapment and potential to be attacked by the patrolling Trenants. Now, as you're going through this instance, one thing that I will advise is that you should bring a couple of grenades with you. They're always useful if you get low, and that will save your run back in some gold. These guys essentially can drop anything from travelers' backpacks down to having additional items for loot, such as greens, blues, and epics, such as the Frost Band for mages, or really paladins or any farmers. And so in my instance, here is a good spot really just for raw gold grinding, and it increases even more if you have the opportunity to be a herbalist. Now, as mentioned in the beginning of this video, there's a total of 8 packs that I'm taking you through over here. And to talk a little bit about on the topic of the Skullflame Shield, you can see multiple videos of many Paladins that are farming this, and when they don't have the Skullflame Shield, you don't quite get as much healing onto you as when you have it, because every time it essentially successfully blocks, it has a 3% chance of healing you for 35, and with 35 health, and with the additional spell power in case you have it, it can be even more than that. But for the starters, when you have about 12 lashers hitting you at a time, you have a pretty good chance of actually blocking one of them and successfully being healed for 35, and that stacks with your Seal of Light, and so you're getting double the health back, and you're also getting essentially the mana back while your Seal of Wisdom is up. And so over here, as you saw, I'm just looking for patrols again. I'm just being extra careful not to pull them. And so essentially, as I'm going through here, I'm going to lay Consecration down, and you just got to be careful when you're fighting these lashers not to aggro them, as essentially that will conclude your run, and you will have to reset.
It's elemental left and elemental right.
Now, in case you're not an engineer, one of the things that you could also do to kind of mitigate the damage in case you get in trouble is use your Blessing of Protection or Divine Shield, and then to use a heavy Runecloth Bandage. That's something that you've seen me do very often in the beginning of the video. If I'm actually struggling with a pool, you just don't know. Sometimes when you get crit, it's just the RNG of the game. And so that is a really nice way to mitigate some damage while conserving mana for your Consecration. And that is a way that you essentially can save yourself the run back.
Piss me off, fucking jerk. You get on my nerves.
Now, this right here is the 7th pack that we're coming on. We actually have one more, and I wanted to give the honorable mention to the Girdle of Appraisal, an item that comes off a quest from Ledger of Tanaris in Burning Steppes, or is it the Searing Gorge? Essentially, that item just grants you some extra damage while you are pulling. And here, for example, you just saw a green drop, and that will vendor later for about 2 gold. And so essentially, going back to Girdle of Appraisal, it is an excellent item that can damage an extra 100 DPS when you're striked.
Well, it's 40 below and I ain't got a truck and I don't give a fuck 'cause I'm off to the rodeo. It's elemental left and elemental right.
Now, being level 58 and probably starting around level 54 when you can actually acquire this Skullflame Shield, this place does grant pretty good experience while you're actually grinding mobs and are able to farm for good loot. So you're getting both of the best worlds, the good experience, and essentially getting some good loot. Now, you saw that some of the epics that I've had, the Stockade Paladins and the rest of the items I've actually purchased because of my grinding in Western Plaguelands and here in Dire Maul East, but they provided me with the gold to be able to acquire these items and actually perform the pulls. Now, the last thing that I want to show you guys here as the last pull is that not every time or every run is going to be perfect, and please forgive some lag that came over here towards the end, is that sometimes when you're pulling these lashers, you just have no way of controlling what's going to happen, and you will pull some of these elite tridents and they will heal and you will die. So just be comfortable with that. Don't be enraged, and just always be ready for it. Now you may ask, hey Branxor, where did all your gold go? You only have 83 gold. Well, I purchased the Skullflame Shield and the Stockades Paladins, which are about 600 gold on my server, Scarum, and I'm able to farm more effectively because of them. Now, what you will see over here specifically is the Lasher Root stack that goes for 6 gold, as well as the Thorny Mine that stack goes for 6 gold, and the Serrated Petal that go for 12 gold. Now, other thing here is as you're seeing is Arthas Tears. This is a much needed herb for those who are trying to get their mount from the Paladin quests, and along with some greens and some other herbs that just come from Dire Maul East. All in all, you make about 40 to 50 gold from this run from my experience. And with that said, I just want to say thank you so much for stopping by our channel. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe. And I hope to see you here again for more.
Piss me off, fucking jerk. Get on nerves.